Well, what do pizza and CNC machining have in common? Not very much. But during my Christmas break, it's now the 8th of January, I came across the videos of Peddling Pizza, which is just a guy in his van banging out pizzas on the market. And it was such a nice format for him. And I've been doubting about doing vlogs, doing YouTubey stuff, doing Instagrammy stuff. I don't like Instagram anymore. And so it was like, yeah, let's try something like him. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make stuff. You see me working with two machines at the same time. I'm gonna bang it out, and you'll just be a fly on the wall while I'm working here. And meanwhile, we can discuss some topics. So welcome to this little experiment. So this is the Emco 345 that I have. Just a bit of a lunch break. I really hope the audio is good enough. And I'm making these, well, rather large aluminium heat sinks. That is, if everything keeps going well. I have to make 250 of these. They are for a luminaire to cool the LED, and they need to deliver a bunch of them. And then they sort of found out very last minute and that they had some cooling issues, and they needed something bigger. So that's what I'm making on this machine. A couple of days. Also, if a screen work, it'd be nice. Made 33 so far today. Cycle time is around 5 minutes. Out of screen here, I have the sewing machine, which you need to keep running because the machine is hungry. And the sewing machine is one of these things nobody likes. But I think I'm going to have to buy a second one this year because this job is okay. Sometimes I have conflict on the sewing machine and I can only run one of the CNC machines at the same time, which is madness. This is going. I have to do a two-sided op. I have to switch it after 4 minutes and then have another minute on my cycle time. So meanwhile, I can do this job, which is a very short cycle time. These are laser cut parts that need to be modified a bit. This is also for LED lighting. I have a job in that company. I'm even in the same building as that company. And well, sometimes we have a customer and he asks for a very specific size because maybe they installed a ceiling somewhere in the God knows when. They installed the ceiling a while back, and they need to replace the luminaires that are currently in the ceiling for LED. And then they don't have a matching luminaire that holds. And then we'll use, well, we call it correction rings, but it's like a very small little ring, and the luminaire falls over it, like this. And then you have a one-to-one replacement, where you can put in a new LED luminaire without replacing the entire ceiling. And that can be cost efficient, although making these not super cost efficient because there's CNC laser cutting, there were CNC milling, there were deburring, cleaning, powder coating, but it looks fabulous. So, wow, it's been so long since I even did something like a YouTube video. I used to really love YouTube, and then Instagram came along, and that was where I was really generating a lot of sales on the oyster knife side of things, which was great because with Instagram you were really close to like the oyster community, which was there. So people interested in oysters, it's easier to find similar interested people on Instagram. So sort of completely moved over to Instagram, and then Instagram was sort of like, yeah, nah, everything with a knife. Don't really like it. And yeah, well, I won't say that's the end of the oyster knife business, because I do still have sales, but it's sort of the end of my interest in Instagram, because I put in so much effort in 2023. And then at the end, it sort of was, hi, you put in a lot of effort. You didn't really get a lot of sales out of it. You don't want to know why? Oh, it's because we shadow banned you for the past year. So there I was every 2 weeks getting oysters, making recipes, doing stuff like that. Wasn't the greatest thing to find out. And I also started noticing that the thing with oyster knives is, especially what I do, I make a knife that will last you a lifetime. So nobody needs a second. Well, everybody needs a second, but it's a luxury. So when I go to there, I'm just using the sewing machine to cut blocks for the lathe. But nobody needs a second. Whereas if you're making parts every 2 months, every week, every 2 weeks, people just come back and they say, well, you made me this one part, right? Yeah. We need more. And then I started to notice, like, it was really clear that side of the business was much easier, as to speak, because people just came back, ordered more, came back, ordered more, came back, ordered more. And so it's still a dual company, where on the one side we're making oyster knives, and on the other side we're making parts. Yeah, it's good like this. I'll show you the machining of that part on the next cycle. It's sort of straightforward, and this is absolutely straightforward. It's just in doing an adaptive path, and then doing a finished pass, same tool, the same setup. It's 35-second cycle line, so it's absolutely nothing. But it's either this or replacing the entire ceiling in a room or a building just to replace glow bulbs for LED. So it saves a lot of time for the end customer. And there are not a lot of companies who can do this. Most, they do something very ugly. It's not a color match. So you have like, this is what we brought in China, and this is what we made locally, or they don't have it without a step, so that you have like luminaire, then a step for the ring, then a step for the ceiling. It doesn't look good. Whereas the other company, we make our luminaires here, we do the coating here, everything matches. I can match everything in tolerance wide, so works really well. But so it's been funny. I have had my sales since 2020, November 2020, and back in the day, Syil was a really big gas, like the X7 as we know it today. It was introduced that year, so it was really a guess. And over years, I've had a lot of people ask me, like, how is it? Is it doing well? Is it going great? Is it accurate? Is it reliable? And then last year, Mr. Boom, Mr. Titans of CNC, they started distributing Syil, and that sort of out of a sudden made it a much more well-known brand. And like all the questions of is it good, is it reliable, is it accurate, they've vanished. I used to get like 3 or 4 or 5, maybe more, maybe like 10 each month. And all those questions are just gone. Everybody just, oh, Titan says it's good, then it must be good, which I really find it was funny. But for me, the machine has been great. Actually, only thing that keeps breaking is the cycle start button. And I had some downtime on a very not nice moment because I had to find it out, but the LNC wasn't booting. The LNC is the controller. It didn't get power to cycle the relay to start up the computer. And so I replaced the relay. That wasn't the problem in the end. This is the thing with Syil. You get an answer, but it will take a day because of the time zone difference. And so next day, try something new. No. And in the end, it was this button. It was making bad contact. And that cost me a couple of days of production where I was just, out of order and couldn't make parts. Really annoying. This one's loaded. So this order is 250 pieces, which is a good order. Well, no, it's a very good order, but it's 3 days work, and that one is just 30. Really small batch, but it's okay. It's more of a service to a customer. Usually we do from 50 pieces. They had a big project and they could sell hundreds of luminaires. But they also needed a solution for the ceiling. Yeah, sure, then we'll make 30. We have I've developed a very nice fixture so that I can set it up quite easily and don't need to make a fixture every time I get a new size, because every time it's like, now it's 300 millimeters outside, now it's 310, now it's 320. I used to make like a small little fixture for everyone, and then I was like, no, this is not going to work. I'm going to need one fixture to rule them all. Start you up. Then I'll show you guys this cycle. Let's load the machine first. Hi. So let's make one. So the machine I've bought is an Emco 345x2. It's very durable, I think. I bought it in 2023 at an auction in Sweden for an absolute steal of price. And it only had like 8,000 hours turned on. It had been from an art school or something, metalworking school. And I got it here. Then I had it working the first day. And then it sort of stopped working, which was bloody annoying. But it was also really busy with milling and oyster knives and having a kid. And so I didn't really have the time to really dive into it. And then in January 2024, I really made some headway with with looking into it, because the turret wasn't homing, and because the turret wasn't homing, it wouldn't give free the machine. It was really annoying because I wanted to be near the turret, but the turret was really up, and I couldn't get any wrench in it to remove the covers and stuff like that. So in the end, I hot-wired the brake. Yeah, I hot-wired the brake, then the turret lowered, then I could remove the covers. Then I was inspecting stuff, couldn't really find anything. Really annoying. And then had contact with the seller again. I was like, can you help out? Is there something I should look into? And he was like, yeah, every now and then the signal cable between the PC and the board. And so did that. And all of a sudden I had a working CNC lathe. As you can see, I get it mostly working, except the ID finish part, which is always difficult to break all the chips. But yeah, this is what I really like, live tooling. So I can drill holes, mill features. It's it's perfect. And but you know, going from a Syil with a tested and proven post processor to a older lathe. Didn't have really a good post processor. Had to find a lot of things. Had to teach myself CNC turning, which is in a way simpler than CNC milling. I find it's more abstract. You know, you can just see the code. You can see what machine is going to do in your head. And then you'll be like, oh, okay. So I've never manually edited code on the milling machine, on the lathe. I do too much. I do have now the post dialed, so that's great. And yeah, so got the machine working at the beginning of February. Had my first part made the end of March. Had made some parts, and then it was really, I really thought I was gonna get some time to get to know how to make parts and stuff like that. And that really didn't happen, because the moment the machine was there, I was using it, and it was very often a very steep learning curve, where I would run into problems while doing a job. And so, yeah, it was steep, but really happy now how the machine is doing. I have the chip conveyor working. I have the a mist filter, which is off because more noise in the workshop for this video. So that one's now on it. Wireless file transfer. Working on the part sketcher at the moment. Had a body over who has more ideas of, well, we knew that there was the electronics for the part sketcher in the back of the machine, just not the pneumatics, but it was in the end, couldn't really get to work. It had to change a lot of parameters. But we did find that the wash pump, which is also not installed, there the electronics were all dialed. So we're going to take 24 volt from that Emco and then put it to a pneumatic cylinder. And then we have a part sketcher, which was a luxury we didn't have before. So let's put you guys over here again. Hi. And so we made another one of these discs, and yeah. At Christmas holiday, I almost bought a copy of this one. It was like superbly priced. I had a good year last year. So for tax reason, it was interesting to buy another machine, have less profit, have to pay less profit tax. But yeah, in the end, I was still dealing with my workshop lease and some other stuff at home. And I tried to call the guy and have a video conversation to like remotely inspect the machine because it's 10 hours away. And he just kept sending videos of it working. But I was like, does it have a parts catcher? Does it have live tooling? Does it have through spindle, bar? Yeah, just couldn't get that conversation going. So in the end, opt out not to do it. Still, sometimes hurts a bit, but yeah, well. But now I'm really confined to this space. I have a wall in the middle because it used to be like more knife oriented. And so I had a room for wood, had a room for grinding, and I had a room for CNC. Yeah, well, CNC is now 85% of the turnover. So CNC is going to get a bit more space because this is just too cramped. I sort of want here my loaded my unmachined material, and here machined material, and then two machines next to one another. This machine has a chip conveyor on the right. This machine has the chip bin on the left. So put those together that you have like a stacking method that the chips are in the middle, machines left and right next to one another. And then we can just load by pallet trolley and just bring the material super, super close, less walking, a better, a nearer, I should say nearer parts cleaning station should help as well. And then, yeah, well, but next week I have a conversation for my, and the screen done it again, voice again. Next week I have a conversation about the lease, and then we'll see if we can get it all set up and working. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, one last thing that I really love this machine because it has such a nice compact size. There's chip conveyor, driven tools, Queloff tool turret, weighs 2,500 kilograms, so it's a bit heavier than the Syil, but it's about the same size. I have 45 millimeter spindle for bar. Absolutely love it. Still love the Syil. Use it very often. That's sort of how it's now going for me. I have this CNC company. I really try to pick my customers in such a way that I design the parts and that they're designed in such a way that they really fit the machines well. And then the customer just has a solution, and it doesn't matter if it's for outdoor food, mold making, stuff like that. It works well, and you don't have to compete one-to-one to prices with other manufacturers. So really love this side of the business, and hope you've found this video a bit interesting as well, me rambling while also machining parts. And let me know if you thought it was something good, then we'll do it a bit more. If you thought it was rubbish, then probably nobody watches, and this will be the last one of this little test format. But yeah, thank you very much. My name is Alexander, and see you next time.